Okay, so in this chapter, the first topic is object and classes. We already know what is object and class. So in Java, an object is a physical and even a logical entity, whereas a class is only a logical entity. It is a blueprint from which objects are created. So an object is the instance of a class. So these are the basic things about object and classes. Here is an example. Here staff is a class and the objects are teacher, clerk and gatekeeper. These are the object of the class staff. Now this is clear. Okay. So this was the basic about object and class. Now we are going into the deep of the object. So as an object is considered as a physical entity in a program. Each instance of a class may have certain real values instead of variables. That means here the class have variables only, but for the object, in spite of having the variables, there should be a values, real world values. So the following are the characteristics of an object. So what are the characteristics of an object? First thing is first thing is identity. So an object has an identity that differentiates one object from the other. That is, each object is a distinct individual. For example, a teacher teaches a subject, a doctor has a specialization, and a vehicle has a model. So these are the basically identity. Uh, Next, state. An object has a state. For example, a teacher works in a school, a doctor goes to a clinic, and a vehicle is manufactured by a company. So state means the variables only. Like for students, their state will be the roll number, marks, etc. Behavior. The behavior of the object specifies its properties. For example, a teacher teaches in the class, a doctor examines the patients, and the vehicle is used for traveling. So these are the basic characteristics of object. This is identity, state and behavior. Now objects encapsulate state and behavior. We already know about encapsulation in base level. So today we will see how encapsulation is implemented in Java. So an object stores its state in member variable and exposes its variable behavior through the member methods. So what are the basic things that is in an object? And these are the line. These are the member variables and its behavior through the member methods. So in any object there are two things. Number one is member variable and number two is member methods. The member method operates on member variables and serve as a mechanism to interact with the various objects. What is the functionality of member of methods? Member methods operate on variables and serve as a mechanism to interact with the various objects. So only the member methods that are wrapped inside the class can access the data and change its state. Hence, the state and behavior are said to be encapsulated by the object. Encapsulated by the object. Hiding the internal state and performing all the interaction through the methods of the object. So, what is the main feature of encapsulation? In encapsulation, the state and behavior are said to be encapsulated by the object. It basically hides the internal state. That means the value of the internal variable or member variables. And if we want to change the state of a variable, we can only do this by using the member methods. So by this method, we perform encapsulation. Encapsulation prevents free access to the data within an object. So encapsulation prevents free access to the data within an object. If we want to access a variable, member variable of a object freely, that means from outside the class or outside the object, this is not possible because of the encapsulation. The data can be accessed only through the interface provided by the associated function. That means the data can be accessed through the member functions only or member methods only. As encapsulation hides the data from functions, these features of object-oriented programming is called data hiding. So what is data hiding? The feature of object-oriented programming is called data hiding, in which encapsulation hides the data from the outside from the functions. So is this clear about data hiding? Data hiding is basically prevents the free access of the data of an object. This is called data hiding. Now, uh, more elaborately, we see what is data hiding. The concept of data hiding states that the information obtained should be hidden from the rest of the system. Should be hidden from the rest of the system. This is the important term. Otherwise, what will happen? Uh, if it can be accessed from the entire system, so like there is a object for student, so any we can change the name or any details of the student from anywhere. Due to that will be dangerous thing for the system. That is, we can change the data of any object anytime. This also called uh, you may know about the security of an system, like security of Facebook or WhatsApp, anything, any other applications. The security means actually the hiding the data from the users that is not relevant to a user. Or if the user want to access it, he has to follow a proper path to do this, not directly on the server. So this is called the data hiding, and this is applied for security of the application or the system. It means that modules should be specified and constructed such a way that information stored in one module is inaccessible to other modules that do not need it. So what I have said, this is written it here. For example, object name 1 should not access the data of the object name 2. So what are the advantages of data hiding? Any changes made to one object have no effect on other objects. If there is a object 1 and this is object 2, if I do some change here, if I do some change in this object, it do not reflect in this object. So this is one of the most important advantage of data hiding, and it reduces the interaction between various modules and make the system more reliable. Uh, if uh, various modules are dependent on each others, then what is the main problem? The main problem is if one module is failed to perform their operation, then other modules that are dependent on that module are also failed by default. So basically the entire system is corrupted. So that is not reliable. But because of the data hiding, it reduces the interaction between various modules, so the system becomes more reliable. Clear about data hiding? Okay, next, encapsulation. We already learned about it. Encapsulation refers to wrapping up the data and functions together in a single unit called class. So we using encapsulation, we wrapping up the data and functions together in a single unit called class. In another words, encapsulation provides a protective shield. It provides a protective shield that prevents the data from being accessed by the code outside this shield. So mainly this is provide a protection to our object. Technically, in encapsulation, the variable or data of a class are hidden from any other class and can be accessed only through the member functions of the class in which they are declared. So mainly the data hiding and encapsulation is based on the concept that the data members should be accessed through the member functions only. This is the entire concept of encapsulation and data hiding. So data in a class is hidden from other classes using the concept of data hiding, which is achieved by making class members or methods private. So private is a access modifier. We will learn about it. So it is mainly a keyword through which we can make any variable or any function private according to our need. Also, we can make it private, public also. The class is exposed to the end users without providing any details behind its implementation using the abstraction concept. So, you know about the abstraction. So, it provides providing any details behind its implementation using the abstraction concept. So, you can say that encapsulation a combination of two concepts, data hiding and abstraction. So the all the principles of object oriented programming are related to each other. So encapsulation is the combination of two concepts, that is data hiding and abstraction. Encapsulation can be achieved by declaring all the variables in the class as private and writing public methods in the class to set and get the values of the variable. To set and get the values the variable. Variables should be private and writing public methods. That means the methods or functions we will create that should be public. So this is the main things of encapsulation. We will practically implement it in today's class later. Okay, next, what are the advantages of encapsulation? First thing, see there is same things is repeated again and again. So you have to learn about one thing, that is data hiding. So data hiding, what is data hiding? The user will have no idea about the inner implementation of the class. It will not be visible to the user how the class is storing values in the variable. So this is called data hiding. Reliability, you can make the variable of the class read only or write only depending on your requirement. How can we make it read only? Using the private access modifier. Using the access modifier, we can make a variable read only. And with public access modifier, we can make it write only. Write only as well as read only. Uh, Here, it is about to say that using a function, that means encapsulation, the main concept is we can access a member variable using member methods only. So there is a read only type. How it can be achieved? By using a function called get, and using the function set we can make it write only. We will see practical implementation of this later. Okay, next, reusability. Encapsulation also provides the reusability and is easy to change with new requirements. So reusability means reuse of a code again and again or multiple times. And easy troubleshoot. Encapsulation code is easy to troubleshoot. So any doubts so far? Okay. Now uh, let's see the implementation of encapsulation with practical example. We are going to implement encapsulation. So I create a new class called encapsulation. At first, I will remove all the inbuilt details. Okay, so our class name is encapsulation. So we will write public class encapsulation. Okay. Okay, so wait. Okay, so I have created a class called encapsulation. Now, uh, I am writing the code. Let's say I will take a value called a. So int a. Remember, I have to make it private. Okay. So for to make it private, I have to write private in the beginning. So the variable a becomes private. That means it cannot be accessed from outside of the object or outside of the class. Now, if it become private, so how we can access it? So we have to make public class to get to set value set value. Here we give a value x and we will write a equals to x. So this function will be used to set value of a, and another value, another thing to get value. Here we have to give the return type void, and another is public void get value. In this function we simply display the value system dot out dot println the value of a. Now we will create a main function public static void main and string arguments. So we will create object. In today's lecture we will see how to create object, but for now see it like encapsulation. Encapsulation is the name of the class. Like I initial or declare here the variable a. So int is the data type and a is the variable name. Like similarly here, I use the class name as data type and any name called obj, short form of object, or we can use any name equal new, again encapsulation. So obj becomes our object. Now see, what is actually encapsulation? This is the class definition. I wrapping up all the things like this is variable, these are the functions. Yeah, all I wrapping up all the things in one block that is called class. So this is how we can implement encapsulation. Now let's see what happened when I going to access the variable a. So obj dot a equals to 5. When I am going to compile, it occurs error, and there is no syntax error, but there may be an error. Okay, there is no output screen. At first, see how to set value. So we will simply write set value and any value like 5. And how to get value? Obj dot get value. Now compile, no error, void main. It is displayed 5. Okay, so in this implementation, how data hiding is working, see that there is a function called set value with which I make the variable write only, and here is a function called get value. Using this, I make our variable read only. So this is how the data hiding is implemented. If it is clear, or I will explain it again. Okay. So What encapsulation is said? In encapsulation, it is said that there should be data hiding and in data hiding, and another thing is data abstraction. And what data hiding is? Data hiding is a variable should not be accessed freely from outside the class. So how it can be accessed? It can only be accessed through data methods. So now here in this class encapsulation, int a is a data member or member variable, and set value. This is function. This is called member method. This is also another member method. This is main method. Okay, this is not for a class. This is for entire program. Okay, this is another thing. So for our case, these are the things for encapsulation. So how data hiding works here? Let's see here, a equals to 10. If it works or not. Compile. No syntax error. Okay, it will work from inside the class. Let me see here. So here are the key terms. Encapsulation refers to wrapping up of data and functions together into a single unit called class. Here, this is class called encapsulation. What is data? Data is A, and functions. These are the functions. So I wrapping up all the things inside a single unit called class. Next, uh, in another words, encapsulation provides a protective shield that prevents the data from being accessed by the code outside of this shield. So this will, if I make another class, wait, public class demo, it's a demo, and copy this thing here, paste. Should we declare a file in name demo.java? So I have to create another file, class. Okay, this will be difficult for now. So I am going to explain it from the surface level. Okay, data hiding. Now tell me, what is data abstraction? Data abstraction is the provides the useful things. Say. It shows the useful features but hide the background details. Okay, so in this thing, see, I have written functions. So there are some internal codes. So how there the data abstraction works? So I am providing the user only the set value function, where the user will input their values inside the parentheses or brackets. Okay, now this is the data abstraction. Now how the data is stored in the variable, it is not relevant to the user, and I am not going to provide it to the user. Similarly, to display the value, here is a main code to display the value, but what user can do? User can call the get value function to display the function. So here I also create the abstraction. that the user should like take it as a switch. Uh, if switch user press the switch 1, he can set the value. If user press the switch 2, he can get the value or display the value. So this is the abstraction, but the entire thing, that is a equals to x and system.out.println a, that means the codes of the operations. I hid I just hide it from the user. These codes are for only for the programmers, but when this is the code things for user is not relevant, or user cannot access these codes. So this is the data abstraction, and how data encapsulation, data hiding works. I make the variable private, so from outside the class data cannot be accessed. Data can be accessed only the member methods like set value and get value. Okay, it will be clear when we do more programming. Okay, now move on to the next topic. Now, member variables of a class. So you already know what is the member variable. Like here I declare a variable A. This is a member variable of the class encapsulation. Now member variable of a class, all the variables declared inside a class is called member variables or data members. Member variables or data members of a class. They are all present in the body of the class instead of methods. In this case, data members are present in the body of the class. That means the declaration part. The declaration part should be on the body of the class, not in the body of the methods. These are the methods. I have not declared the data member inside the methods, but I declare it inside the class body of the class. So this is the syntax: class, class name, and member variables. Here you can see class, class name, and this is the member variable. And public, private, these are the different thing. We will get know about this in our upcoming classes. Okay, this is are the member variables. Now member variables of a class. Classification of member variables. There are basically two types of member variables. One is static variables. Static, we can also say it as the class variables. So class variables, here you can see that I use the static keyword. So this becomes the static function. Now let's see what is static. Static variables are known as a class variable, or static member functions are called class functions. These variables are declared just like instance variable. Instance variable is next thing. The difference is that the static variables or static data members are declared using the static keyword. So how we can uh, identify whether a variable is static or not? There, yeah. So there, in this case, there is no static keyword. So this is a instance variable. If there is a static keyword, then it will become a static variable. Okay. Keywords within a class outside of any method, constructor, or block. So what are the sentence? The difference is that static variables are declared using the static keyword within a class outside of any method, constructor, or block. So I think in next or after one or two classes, we will come to know what is constructor. Okay, this is an important thing of our class. Okay, that means we have to declare variable as member variable outside of a block or function. Unlike instance variable, you can only have one copy of static variable per class. So for a static variable, there is one copy only, irrespective of how many objects you create. If you create 5 objects, there is always a one copy of static variable. Static variables are created at the starting of the program execution and destroyed automatically when execution ends. So the scope of the static variable is entire the program. That means when the program is created or start execution, the static variable is created, and when the program is end, the program execution is end, then the static variables is also destroyed. So there is the syntax, static keyword and data variable, data type, then the variable names. Another variable is instance variable. So instance variable are called non-static data members of a class, are declared in a class but outside any method of a constructor or block. An instance variable are declared in a class. They are created when an object of the class is created and destroyed when the object is destroyed. Every instance variable must be accessed with the respective object name. Okay, so here this is simple. We don't use any keyword, just simply use the data type and variable name. Now, this is the instance variable. If I write static int b, this become the static variable. Now, one important thing here, see, there is a static keyword or static variable. This is the static variable. Now, if I create multiple objects of a class, this is object 1, this is object 2, this is object 3, this is object 4. So when the program starts execution, it is already created by default without creating any object. So this is the property of static variable. But in case of instance variable, what happens? It cannot be created automatically until I create a object. I create an object, say object 1. Regarding this object 1, the instance variable is created. I create object 2, another instance variable is created. For object 3, another instance variable is created. That means how many instance variable can be there? It will be depends on the number of objects, but static variable is always has only one copy. So this will point this, for all the objects there is only one static variable. For each object, there is individual instance variable. Okay, I think it is clear. Okay, let's try to understand it with example. Okay, creating another like called demo. A public class demo. I create two variables, say int a and static int b. So I have two variables. One is instance variable, another is static variable. Now I create functions as it is public void set a to set input the value of a int x, and here I write a equals to x. And public void set b int y, right, b equals to y. Now to display the value, public void get a system dot out dot println a, and public void get b system dot out dot println b. Okay, now I think these four functions are clear. Okay, to input a, to input b, for output of a, for output of b. Now I am creating the main function public static void main string arguments. Let's create an object demo obj1. This is our object one to new demo. Now I set the value of a obj1 dot get, set a is 5 and obj1 dot set b is 10. Okay, now let's see obj1 dot get a and obj1 dot get b. So let's see what is the output. So this is the output of previous class, previous encapsulation. Okay, this is our current output 5 and 10. Okay, this is simple, clear. Now let's see what is the difference between static and instance variable. Let's say I am creating another object called demo obj2 equals to new demo. This is our another object. Let's see what happened when I trying to uh, display the value of b. As we know, b is the static class, static variable. So there should be a one copy of static variable. So get b. Now again compile. Right click and void main. Okay. Let's see here. The value of 10 is displayed. That means the copy of variable b is created is common for all the objects. But what happen when we trying to get the value of a? Compile, no error. Right click on it and void main. Okay, 0. So the value of static class is reflected here, that is 10, but the value of instance variable was 5, but here it is 0. That means the value of instance class is not reflected to all the objects. This is individual for every object, but the value of static class is common for all the objects. Uh, Now, is it clear? What is the main difference between static and instance? Okay. Now, can you tell me what is the real life example of static variables? Okay, I am telling you. So, suppose I am creating a class for your school. So now, for you and your classmates, the school name should be same for all. So what I can do? I create a static variable called school name and set the school name in that variable. So this become common for all. So this is but the roll number or marks, this can be vary. So this kind of variable should be instance. Otherwise, the it is not possible that every student have same roll number, but school name can be same. So this is the main difference between static and instance. That means the variables what should be the common for all the objects make it static, otherwise make it instance. Now move on to the another thing, member variable of class. So this is the example of this string name. This is instance variable. Int roll number, this is also instance variable, but static float s class. As static class is used here, so this is a static variable or class variable. Now let's see difference between instance variable and static variable. So instance variable, each object will have its own copy of the instance variable, and for static you can only have one copy of static variable per class, irrespective of how many objects you create. I already discussed that for static variable all the object has one copy of static variable, but for the instance variable, for every individual object there is individual instance variables. Next, changes made to the instance variable using one object will not be reflected in other object, as each object has its own copy of the instance variable. So changes of one instance variable do not reflect to another objects. But in case of static variable, changes will be reflected in other variables, as static variables are common to all objects of class. Clear these lines? Okay, you can access the instance variable through object references. Static variables can be accessed directly using class name. So let's see another thing from here. So here, no, here it is not possible. I am giving you just an example. Okay, so for instance variable, we can call it, use it as object name dot a. Suppose this is our instance variable. This is possible, and but if I write class dot a, it is not possible. For static variable, object dot a, it is possible, as well as class dot a, this is also possible. So what is the difference? So we can access instance variable through object references, but not using class reference. But for static class, we can directly access with class reference as well as object reference. It does not matter. So these are the three difference of instance variable and static variable. Now another thing is member method of a class. What are the member methods? Here public void set A, public void set B. The methods declared or defined inside a class body is called member methods. Like member variables, a class also hold member methods which are known as member function that deal with the instance variable. The function declared inside are known as member functions. The simple thing, a return type, method name, and body. There is a dedicated chapter on function in, I think it is chapter 4 or 5. There we can see how to create different types of functions. Now for now this is simply like that. Okay, let's create a program. I think everything is clear till now. What we have learned today, that is object and class, of the characteristics of an object, identity, state, and behavior, encapsulation, data hiding, member variables, and member methods. Now a program. Design a class book. So here it is given class book. So class name should be book in Java, and define its data members and member methods. Create an object of the class and use the data members and member methods. So what we have to do? Number one, create class book. So this is our first task. So here new class called book. When it is said to be create class, what you have to do? Create a class like that and clear all the things and write public class book. So here I create a class. Now next, define its data members and member methods. So what can be the data members? Uh, I can use it string, hmm, title, author, then string publisher, next double price. So these are the data variables or data members, what we can say. Now, member methods. What function is given in book? No, the function will be show details, display details. So public uh, void display details. This is our member method. Now system dot out dot println. You already know what is the function of system dot out dot println to display something. Now how we can display multiple things? We can do this like the title is colon. When we have to merge two or more things, simply add plus between them and another thing. This is title. The plus is the plus operator concatenate two or more things together. Now similarly system dot out dot print ln the author is author. System dot out dot println the publisher is colon plus publisher, and system dot out dot println the price is plus a price. So this is our display details function. Now public static void main string arguments, and now create an object. Like I create book B equals to new book. Now what is the object in our class? B. B is the object. Okay. So B dot, whenever we have to use the instance variables, like title is an instance variable. So simply write B, that is the object name, dot the variable name title equals to, what is the title given? The computer application. B dot author. Santosh Kumar. B dot publisher. And B dot price. 550. Now B dot display details. Now compile. Right click void main. Okay. So this is our output. So we have to go through the questions like this. Design a class book. So at first create a class called book, then define its data members and data member methods. So define the member data member and methods. What are the possible members, or if it is a car, then it will be the model name, then capacity of fuel, speed. Then this will be the things. Then create an object of the class, use the data members and member methods. Okay, here is the solution of thing and output. I think it is clear. Okay, that is for today.